What's up guys, welcome back to TUGGtv. So this video continues on from a previous experiment which I'd done where I went ahead and compared recording an acoustic guitar over the pickup versus recording over a mic. We discussed some of the tonal differences and practical differences in terms of what it would be like recording via pickup and via mic from the perspective of a bedroom jammer. And in that video, I did mention that I'm going to be doing a separate one where I am going to compare the different types of microphones, and that's what we're here to do right now. So as you can see in front of me, I have essentially got three microphones. The first one over here is the Audio-Technica ATR 1300, which I went ahead and used in the previous experiment. This is a very everyday mic. Costs about 21 or 2200 rupees on Bajao, and this Audio-Technica is essentially a cardioid dynamic microphone. And over here I've got a condenser microphone. This is the NEEWER NW1500. Picked this up a couple of years ago, and inclusive of everything I picked it up for under 5000 rupees. And the third microphone I've got on is a Lapel microphone. So this is the dynamic in action, which is this Audio-Technica ATR 1300. The other ones are off, and I'm not going to get too technical in terms of, how exactly these mics are constructed and what are the technical differences. But just to let you know a little bit, a dynamic microphone is essentially built of three components. You have the diaphragm, you then have the voice coil, and the magnet. So essentially every time I'm speaking into this, the diaphragm picks up the sound and then that is converted from sound signals into electric signals via the voice coil and the magnet, and the result is what you're hearing. Pros and cons: a dynamic microphone is built to handle loud music, so it's really good for live gigs. Another point, it's quite simple in its construction, so it is quite rugged, and it doesn't need a lot of additionals and a lot of care. I mean, essentially you should care for your equipment, but compared to a condenser, it's a little easier to handle. Not to mention they are a little bit cheaper compared to condensers. However, this comes at a cost because they're built to sort of handle loud environments. They do a really good job in terms of background noise reduction, but the problem is they're not as sensitive as a condenser. Now I'm talking through the condenser microphone, the NW1500, and technically this is built from two components. You have the diaphragm and then the back plate, which is also called a condenser plate, hence the name condenser microphone. Now, unlike a dynamic, this one is built for a lot more sensitivity, and they do pick up some of the finer details. Now, also for the sake of experiment, while I'm speaking, I want to make clear that I have not done any further treatment to the sound. Normally, I would go ahead and do some form of noise reduction or background noise reduction. I'm not doing that here in this instance, so that you can hear exactly what it sounds like. Pros and cons, of course, as I mentioned, it is sensitive. It picks up some of the finer details in sound. But the point is, unlike a dynamic microphone, the condenser plate needs to be charged, which means you will require to provide power to a condenser microphone. If you have an interface which has phantom power in it, for example, I have the Alice's IO4, which provides phantom power, no problems at all. You are sorted and you would be able to provide power to your microphone via the XLR input. But if you do not, remember that you will have to make some amount of investment for a power unit, which is then going to go ahead and power this up, which makes having a condenser sometimes a bit more expensive. Even if you have to compare two good mics, a dynamic SM57 would come for about 7,000 to 8,000 rupees, and a good condenser microphone, something like the Audio-Technica, I think it's called the ATR 4040 or 2020. And no, I'll link it in the description. That is going to cost you closer to the 10,000 rupee range, and if you have to buy a power unit, it's going to cost you much more. The third mic that I am now testing out, so both these mics are off and I am talking through the Lapel microphone. Now remember, this is a very, very cheap microphone, so I know that the quality is not going to be the same as compared to the other two. I know there are better Lapel microphones as well. Built very much on the concept of the dynamic, so it's very good at sort of essentially focused around picking up the mid-range, which is the vocal range. That's what we use this for. But again, not very good on sensitivity. So as you can hear, it would sound a little more muffled compared to the other two. So that of course is a comparison when I look at all these three mics from a voice perspective. But how does this change the dynamics when we play an instrument? So I have played a little piece on the acoustic guitar. It's got some finger picking and then strumming, and playing with the pick. So you can pick up all those differences. I've played it first on the dynamic, then on the condenser, and I have seen some videos where I've seen folks using a lapel microphone and acoustic guitar as well. So I thought, since we're doing this experiment, why the hell not? Make sure you're using a good pair of headphones or speakers to pick up on the finer differences. Again, I'd like to highlight that I've not done any treatment as such to the sound. There's no noise reduction or any of that, so that you can hear exactly what it sounds like. Check it out. So that's that. What did you think about it? Which microphone would you prefer? Let me know in the comments below. Since these videos are focused more from the perspective of the bedroom jammer, remember that if you do choose to go down the path of miking up your guitar, you will have to do some amount of studio silence and soundproofing in your room to achieve proper silence to record. Again, then depending on the microphone, if you choose to go the route of a condenser, you are going to have a little more background noise because it is going to pick up the finer sounds. The good thing is it then has a very crisp ring, it's picking up all the frequencies. But as I've stated earlier, there is no right way and wrong way. Some tunes sound great on a dynamic microphone, some sound great on a condenser, so it's purely your choice. In terms of using the lapel microphone, now I know that this lapel microphone is definitely not the best option, so I wouldn't possibly recommend it. But if one of you have a very good lapel microphone, let me know. What do you think? And if you would want to see that, maybe I'll get another lapel microphone and see what it sort of sounds like. So with that, I come to the end of this video. Give it a thumbs up if you like what you see. Share your thoughts, and your ideas in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel. Be sure to hit that subscribe button along with the bell icon for more updates from us. This is TUGGtv signing off. Until next time, stay metal.